Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I am, as always, your host, AR, the Ohio Patriot. And for today, we're going to talk about the feud that I started last night with Michigan State Senator Erika Geiss, or Glass, I pronounce fucking stupid bitch's name, and why she is actually a leftist, anti-gunner, ass clown, stupid fucking cunt. And most likely is very much the Emilia Sykes of her state. Or if not Emilia Sykes' mother is more like it, actually. Um, yeah, this Erika woman is a fucking trip, dude. So basically, for those that don't know, in the last probably about 3 or 4 days now in Michigan, you've had a bunch of anti-gunners paid for by Gabby Giffords and company. You had a bunch of people there in Michigan legitimately, do a bunch of fucking shady shit to get into office is what it was. A bunch of Democrats, etc. A bunch of anti-gunners that are directly tied to Moms Man Action and Bloomberg and everybody else like that's what it is, dude. And if it wasn't Bloomberg paying them off, it was Gabby Giffords paying them off to get them into office is what it was, dude, etc. And so you had an event happen the other day where it was basically um, at the Capitol there in Lansing. You had about 100 people, maybe 150 at most, outside there while you had Gretchen Whitmer, the current cheater calling herself governor of Michigan, and Gabby Giffords on the stage in front of, like I said, about 100 people or so, give or take, bitching and moaning about gun violence and all this other crap like that, and whether they're going to pass common sense crap. And it's a bunch of bullshit, dude, entirely. It completely is infringements upon the Constitution of the United States of America, specifically the Second Amendment. It also completely defies the Bruin rulings and the Heller rulings for that matter as well, dude. And so basically what happened was in the last couple days now, you've had the Michigan State Senate. I'm not sure if the House passed this stuff yet or not, but I know for a fact the Michigan State Senate in the past like 3 or 4 days now has since passed this 11 or 12 bill package that's basically banning everything, creating red flag laws, creating universal background checks, all kinds of unconstitutional bullshit is what it is, dude. Everything that, myself at OPEN or Ohioans for Firearms Freedom would fight, anything that Michigan State gun orgs would fight, anything that federal gun orgs would fight, like GOA, FPC, etc., dude. It would be things that we would directly take to court if this be the case. And so basically, over the past, several days now, the real problem with Twitter is, and this is what actually pisses me off about Twitter, right? It's like they want you to engage with these people, dude, because and actually start like Twitter feuds and stuff like that, because of the fact when you look at the stuff, you respond back to one person from these places. One state senator, one state rep, whatever it is. And all of a sudden, the next time you go on Twitter, your feed is filled with like 30 of these fucking people, dude. Or it's filled with like responses to responses of like Giffords being like, "Thank you, Michigan Democrats," and stuff like that. And it's basically like one of those things where it's like, I don't want to see this shit. I don't want to see these fuckers infringing upon people's rights at this point, dude. But you know what I'm gonna do when I see it? I'm gonna call them the fuck out on it, dude, and talk to them. And call them out and tell them about the fucking tyrant scum that they are, and talk to them about how they're going to be lost in the fucking ground very soon, because they are at this point, honestly, dude. Whether it be by me or someone else for that matter. And so the thing is, like I said, the last 2, 3, 4 days now, I've been directly calling out various Michigan Democrats at this point. Been like, yeah, you're an oath breaking piece of shit, basically. You're going to go to jail pretty soon. We're going to sue the shit out of you, et cetera, et cetera. And so last night, I got into it with this Erika woman, and she was the first one to respond back. And it's funny because we're going to go ahead and talk about that right now, actually, dude. She still hasn't responded back to my second response to her ass. But that being said, she has responded back to the first one. And sorry, trying to find my things here. All right, let me see here. Present. Okay, so basically where this all started was you had, I just realized, honestly, for this episode, I spelled this woman's name wrong, because it's actually with a K and not a C. So you had Michigan State Senator Erika Geiss, I think is how to pronounce it. And this, by the way, she's definitely paid for by Giffords and March for Lives and all these other assholes, what it is, dude. She said, "Take note, y'all. Some of these kids are the same kids who stood in line for hours in November 2022 to be able to cast their ballots. They spoke then, they spoke out, and up last month. Said, March for Our Lives listened, delivered, and will keep on delivering." And you had the douchebags from March for Our Lives the other day say, "They didn't offer us a spot at the table, so we brought our own chairs. When lawmakers fell silent, young people kept pushing." No, what you really mean, you dickless fucks at March for Our Lives, is you're a bunch of fucking commie bastards who don't give a shit about people's constitutional rights because your fucking endgame, just like the Bloomberg endgame, just like the fucking other tyrant endgame, is to put every gun up against the fucking wall and kill us. Good fucking luck with that, because it will cause civil war, because it will cause a revolution in this country, period, end of story. You know, it's pretty hard to disarm American people when you're not even fucking buying guns, you fucking jerk-offs. When you're even too young to buy guns for most cases, you dumb motherfuckers, because you're under the age of 21 in most cases. Which is exactly why, honestly, I must speak truth, man. The voting age in America should be 25. End of story. Nobody under age of 25, unless military service, should be allowed to vote. And it's as simple as that, dude. But, yeah, it's as simple as that, really, honestly. But the entire point is, though, so basically, it started out with that whole thing of Erika basically jerking off March for Our Lives, to which my response to her was, under the Ohioans for Firearms Freedom moniker, because obviously my Patriot Network is still banned on Twitter for the next day or so. I said back to her, I said, "And none of you anti-gunners who are bribed by these anti-gun orgs should ever be holding elected offices ever again. We'll see you in court for the anti-gun trash pass this week. Prepare for lawsuits and prison time." Which is true, by the way. I could technically sue not only this dumb bitch, I could actually sue the state of Michigan and then name her as a defendant, as would it be then, if that'd be the case. And the lawsuits would it be. Or actually, wait, would I be the defendant? I don't know. I can't remember which way it goes, if it's like, which way it goes on that thing. But anyway, she would basically be named in the fucking lawsuits, would be, dude. This Erika woman. And it would basically be me suing the shit out of the state of Michigan, is what it would be then. So basically, from there, you know, talking to these people and calling them out and stuff like that, you had Erika basically clap back at me and say the following dumb shit, which was this tweet, and then I responded back to her tweet. Said, "And you're in checks notes, Ohio, this is Michigan. Also, don't for a hot second make the erroneous assumption that everyone who supports this legislation is anti-gun, except you fucking are, because you're directly supporting it is what it is." Said, "You're telling on yourself when you confuse anti-gun for anti-gun violence, but then again, you are from Ohio." And my response to her dumbass was, "And there is no such thing as gun violence, you clown. It's just violence, most of which is done by gangs. Also, you've clearly never heard of nationwide lawsuits, but you will soon." And that's where we're basically sitting at right now. Because that's the thing, dude. This woman is a dumb bitch, for real. Like, to sit there, and that's the thing, right? Like, I remember, honestly, about 15, 20, 30 years ago, whatever it was now, there was never such a thing as gun violence, dude. I don't know where that phrase even came from in the past 10, 15 years or so. I believe it was actually Democrat created again, just like how they created assault weapon back in, like, the early 90s when Bill Clinton was in office then. And the thing is, it's like, yeah, you're going to talk about all this bullshit, and it's like, you're not against violence at all, you dipshit. You are 100% anti-gun, period. You are anti-gun because in most cases, Erika, just like the rest of you fucking clowns in Michigan and the rest of you Democrats nationwide at this point, you are being bought and paid for by Michael Bloomberg, by Everytown, by Moms Man Action, by Giffords, by March for Our Lives, and every other anti-gun organization in this fucking country, dude. And don't think for a hot minute here, honestly, that we're not going to sue the fuck out of you at this point. And that's exactly where Nationwide Orgs need to get involved in this one, dude. It's not even just doing lawsuits against the actual rulings and stuff like that. It needs to be taking a list of state senators, taking a list of state reps, taking a list of sitting governors, et cetera, and suing the shit out of every single one of them personally at this point, dude. Because that's how this ends. That's how we win this fight in one fail swoop. We take these fuckers out one at a time. We bankrupt every single one of them, and we take every last dime that they ever have, dude. And then we put them in jail for the deprivation of rights of law they've committed many, many times in this country. And it's as simple as that, honestly. So, anyway, that's about it for today. I'm going to give you guys an update at some point if this dumbass Eric ever gets back to me and stuff like that. And while I'm sitting here, I'm probably going to try to edit this with the correct spelling of this woman's name now, because I guess it was a K instead of a C. So I'm going to try to do that real quick. Hopefully it'll actually go through, but I have no idea if it will or not, though. Okay, I guess it did. All right. So, yeah, basically, like I said, she was the first idiot to respond back to me. That's what it was, dude. And it's funny, too, because it's like, most of them, the smart ones anyway, they won't even respond back to you, dude. Like, they'll just be like, oh, it's whatever, dude. But no, like, and it's very telling that she responded back on a Friday night, dude, because it basically tells me everything I need to know about her, which is that she has no real life, is what it is, dude. Just like most of these scumbags in office, they have no real life. They just want to sit there and infringe on your rights. And it's because they're actual modern day Nazis, is what it is, dude. They're the actual modern day National Socialists, is what it is, dude. They want to infringe upon your rights because their entire end game is a fucking death camp. And I'll be goddamned if I ever let that fucking happen to me or anybody else for that matter, dude. And it's exactly why I've been fighting for the rights of the American people for almost 4 years now. And it's as simple as that. And I will continue to fight every single day of my life until I am, die of my natural causes or whatever the case be, or God, calls me up to heaven is what it is. And it's as simple as that, really. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you all in the next one.